All right, howdy everybody. Yeah, I'm a little out of breath. Doing a few things at once. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I just mixed. Well, I've been cleaning buckets and whatnot. So mixed my third batch, and it's loose. It's a loose batch. And I'll show you what I mean by that. To me, that's a loose batch. Way too loose. So I'm gonna let it. I don't know what the word is. Quell, dwell. You know, squash. I know there's a term for it, where you let your thin set sit in a bucket for 5 minutes. I'm going to let mine go for a little bit more than 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add some more. What I did was, in my haste, I had too much water in this bucket to start with. And I'm like, oh no. And I knew it as soon as I added the first batch of dry. You know, I'm like, oh, I added too much. You know, I had too much water in there to begin with, but no big deal. So while I'm letting that squell, dwell, whatever the word is. Hold on, I'll bring you inside. Okay, real quick. Here's my two-piece front of the tub deck, right? Here's the top deck. And here's reinforcement right here. And I got a piece of 2x that's going to mimic the top part of the deck. So hold on, I'll show you what I'm trying to do. And I figured I'd make use of my time while I'm waiting for that thin set to set up a bit. And I want to work on my laying out my sidewalls. And I took all my clips out, right? Cleaned up some of the grout lines. And what I mean by the grout lines, you know, even though there's no grout in there, you got to clean up these lines. And I'll more on that later, okay? But here's my simulated deck piece, right? So let's see what we got. So the deck is going to come out this far. The tub deck is going to come out that far. So I'm trying to figure how far out I want to bring my tile. Do I want to bring it all the way to this edge? Because this edge has drywall. So the wall is not going to come out any longer than this. In fact, I might need to trim some of this back. You know, I mean, it depends how picky I want to be. But the wall is not going to come out any more than what you see, right? So here's the deck. And let's see if I can do this with one hand. So it's not going to be right on, but here is the line, right? Here's my line right there. Okay, such that it is. Now, do I want to have a piece of cut tile right there? And I'm going to be putting in that the jolly trim, that the end cap, the end trim that you see on a lot of tile jobs. It covers up your cut pieces, and it's a nice finish trim. So I need to get a piece of that out and to see, you know, how much space that takes, and I'll show you that when I get to it. But I need to think about my where's my, oh, I hung it up. Yeah, there it is over there. You know, somebody mentioned, well, why don't you do the center out on the sidewalls? And I might do that. I had two choices. Remember, to wrap around my cut piece to make it look like a full tile here, right? Well, actually it stops right there. And then a full tile, and then a partial. And then, you know, wrapping it around, keep going, boom. But I'm thinking about putting in, you know, if I do start with, it would be the center. I would be looking at a full tile, because I want to mimic, let me back out so you get an idea. Yeah, I would want to mimic a full tile here and a full tile there, right? A full tile here and a full tile there, and then work out. You don't want to do a cut piece, right? But you want to mimic what you're doing, so it makes it look like it belongs there, right? That's the whole idea. Because your brain will look at it and will say, wait, something's not right. You know, it's the symmetry. You know, that's a good word. You got to remember that. Symmetry. The brain likes symmetry. You know, my little caveman brain, it knows when something's out of whack. It's like, oh, something's out of whack there. But anyway, getting back to this. If I do a full tile, let me get my cut piece. All right, let's do this. And I haven't marked my center wall yet. And I need to do that, of course, once I figure. Hold on, give me a sec here. Let's turn this over. Okay. Let's just take, and I have, like I said, I haven't measured my middle wall. let's just say arbitrarily that this is where it's going to go. Down here. Okay. All right. So, say this is my center. Even though, see, it looks out of whack. Yeah, it's out of whack a little bit. That's all right. Might actually go down some. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to center this well. So, where's my tape? Why can't I find my tape? You can't ever find anything when you need it. Hold on. I just cut this piece. This piece is cut. Where did I put my tape? Here it is. All right. All right, let me slow down a little. Let me slow down. All right, hold on a sec here. Let's slow down a bunch. Okay, so we got roughly, let's call it 6. Yeah, see, it's out of whack by, let's just move it over a tad. And what do we got? Got 6.5 by a little bit more, so let's move it over this way a tad. I don't know, it's just totally unscientific, but okay, so now this is going to be my full tile. So consider this my full tile in place, right? In my center of the wall. That's taking it, well, that doesn't even matter how, well, no, it's taking it all the way to the edge, which I will probably am going to wind up doing. But that means taking it all the way to the edge up there. And that means taking it all the way to the edge over there, okay? So that's taking it all the way to the edge. So that could actually work because, well, it's going to look a little odd because my wraparound piece to complete the full tile was only 4 inches, remember? So this is going to be a lot, this is going to be like 6 inches or more. And that means the second course will be a full tile. Hold on here. Where are we? Let's put a thing here. Put a notch here. These are just arbitrarily marked for a minute here. Okay, so the second course is not even going to be a full tile. See, I'm bending my, yeah. So, what do I want to do? I'm going to have full tiles every other course, right? I'm not going to have full tile here or full tile here. Which might be a good thing because the cut edge will go here and the cut edge will go here up against that jolly trim, and I'll have 2 factory edges, right? I'll have 2 factory edges meeting here, right? There, and then a full tile, and then 2 partials, and then a full tile. So 2 choices, right? We're in a 2-choice world. Well, maybe even more than 2 choices, but I always say we're in a 2-choice world. You either stop or go, left or right, yada yada. I mean, even if you're going in a straight line, eventually you're probably going to veer to the right or left. I know, I'm getting deep. So for right now, I mean, the reason I'm working on this right this second is because I have a ton of thin set in that bucket. I got a ton of thin set, and I'm definitely going to get this back wall finished. And I'd like to be able to use that thin set up instead of just letting it turn to a rock and wasting it, right? I mean, if it comes to that, no big deal. I mean, you know, you got it. That's just the way it is. So, what to do, right? What to do. Let's go back to the back of the tub. Okay, so I'm at the very back, the sidewall here. So it would be full tile, 2 partials. Full tile, 2 partials. A full tile, 2 partials. A full tile. And the partial would be, you see the partial right there, right? It would be that cut, and the partial would be that cut. It would be evened out because remember, I haven't centered this wall yet. So it would be evened out. So in the scheme of things, I'm worried about, not worried, worried is the wrong word. I'm concerned about how it's going to look in the edges. I got it inside, or the corners. I got the inside corner here, and even though that's an outside corner, it's still a corner, right? The tile considers that a corner. How's it going to look? That's what I have to think about. You might be thinking, well, it's going to be fine because the second course, you got a partial here. And even though your second course is going to stop with how much? This much, right? So that almost makes the difference to a full tile. You might not be able to perceive that this piece and this piece doesn't add up to a full tile. I might be able to get away with that. So it's looking better and better. It's looking better and better. Because if I start with trying to measure, okay, this is a partial, so I have a 4-inch cut there, that might look so good. And if I do start over here with that 4-inch piece, and I'm trying to end this real quick here, so because it's coming on, it's over 10 minutes. So I have that little fill piece there, a full piece here, and a partial here. This might look not symmetrical because this full tile is off center, you know, even though this is kind of being completed to look like a full tile, this might not look so good. So I'm strongly leaning to, and I know I had this one comment in the comments, well, why don't you do the center? And I'm leaning strongly towards that. So let me leave you there, and I'll back up to show you what we've done so far. I know. I'm over at Smitty's yesterday bugging them, Linda and Smitty, and they're like, Smitty's like, I don't know how you can work in there. And I'm like, well, Smitty, look. See? Look at my sneakers. I told them I have this little pathway, so there you have it. So it's looking really good. We're going to go out and check the thin set because it's way too loose. You know, it's a thin pancake batter right now, and I don't want it that thin because when you trowel it, you want it thick enough to stick to the wall, right, or stick to your tile. Because I've been back troweling my tile. It's been working out a lot nicer for me, and it's a little bit less messy. When I did the bottom the 3 courses, I tiled the first 2 the traditional way, and then I changed to back troweling. So anyway, I'll leave you there. Thanks for putting up with me. I know I'm long-winded, but you know, I've had too much coffee probably, and this, that, and the other. So it's time to get to work. I want to get, like I said, after I get these 3 done, I'll probably, well, let's just say, all right, my mind's made up. So we're going to split this wall in 2, and we're going to split that wall in 2, and we're going to do what we should do, right? All right, I'll leave you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good weekend. It is, wait, no, it's Friday. So TGIF, they still say that. And enjoy your day and enjoy your weekend coming up. All right, stay tuned. There's going to be more to come.